On the eve of the 4th anniversary of switching Flint's water source to the city's river, a new school in Flint is working to make sure every child has a fair chance to rise above the water crisis to achieve their dreams.
There are still plenty of fears about lead poisoning and what the future will bring.
But Educare is providing something that too many children growing up in Flint have gone without for far too long.
In a city that ranks among our nation's poorest and most violent, there is a river that, to save money, the state would use as Flint's water source, running contaminated water through lead pipes that would poison Flint's families, children, and future.
Two in a boat, and the waves run high.
After so much disappointment and mistrust,
Hey, Mr. Parker, do you think you can find Lily's hands?
there's now a school, bringing a community in crisis hope, healing, and a reason to believe.
It just makes life easier having something that you can trust in the city.
When Ariana Zahn walked into Educare, she was asked to write down her wish for her two sons.
I wish that they, or hope that they have a great year.
It was added to a tree of parents' dreams now hanging in the lobby. Some wrote about college, personal struggles, even the NBA. Ariana's goal seems so simple, what every child deserves. But her life wasn't the same before Educare opened its doors in December.
Dominic, he was born with a complete cleft lip and palate. And so he's had reconstruction surgeries on both the lip and the palate, and he has issues with speech.
Here, 4-year-old Dominic gets regular screenings just outside his classroom, and specialists help him with speech during the day.
To have it here is extremely helpful because I don't have to spend the extra money that obviously we don't have living in Flint all the time. And then to take the extra time off work.
Dinah Schaller has worked as a social worker for Flint schools for 25 years and calls the high-quality, streamlined services at Educare a blessing.
So everything's done in a really comprehensive, timely manner.
Schaller says services that used to take months to coordinate are figured out within days.
We want to be able to provide them with the support that they need in that moment and at that time.
Now, students and families get wraparound services, immediate access to what they need, whether it's health care, nutrition, counseling, or individual therapy. And the school leverages existing resources for funding, cutting through red tape that used to keep countless families waiting during critical times.
Our community needs those partners that they can trust. And it's not us telling them what they can do, it is us holding their hands and walking with them, growing with them.
They are really concerned with meeting the needs of the family as a whole and not just the child.
And that's the model Educare was built on. Flint is the largest of Educare's 23 early childhood education centers across the nation. Started with the belief that children born into poverty have an unfair disadvantage from the moment they take their first breath. But by embracing the entire family and giving them the support they need and deserve, the hope is opportunities will no longer be determined by a child's zip code or circumstances.
I didn't have time to go down and get WIC signed back up and do the reload appointments.
At Educare, she not only was able to re-enroll, but pick up fresh fruits and vegetables weekly in the school lobby.
It takes a lot of the stress off. So, and that way you're, with 2 young kids, you're always a little stressed. Yeah. And so sometimes it helps just to be a calmer mom. So it's really nice to just have that time that now when we go home, we can curl up and play a game or watch movies or craft or whatever at the end of the day we want to do.
Taking the toxic stress away from parents and children in the early years is crucial. Research shows during the first 3 years of life, a baby's brain is shaped partly by experience. Living in trauma, poverty, or in a violent environment shapes the person they become. But at Educare, no matter what happens in the world around them, they know when they are here, they are safe.
We want to make sure that all children are safe and ready to learn, and the easiest way to do that is to build a foundation when they're young. If we help the parent in preschool make sure that they have accessible medication at school and care plans and know what they need to have so that their children are ready to learn, it sets a foundation for when they move on to kindergarten and throughout their schooling.
You then can focus on your role as being a student, your role as to being part of a classroom, having a successful peer set, being part of a group of friends, being part of that social environment within the school.
Educare came to Flint after the water crisis created an urgent effort by the Mott Foundation, Community Foundation, Flint Community Schools, the Genesee Intermediate School District, state and community partners to increase access to early childhood education. That's because the city's youngest children are most vulnerable to the effects of lead poisoning, like lower IQs, learning and behavioral problems, along with developmental delays. But with that great risk also comes great opportunity.
You want to come play with us, Messiah?
Planting flowers may not look like brain science, but it's just the kind of interactive lesson designed to promote cognitive development that counters the effects of lead exposure.
Research shows that in brain development, it's those first, what I call the first 2,000 days of a child's life, where the brain is growing its fastest. And we can make the biggest impact with even small things with children if we capture that time period.
Lead affects children in different ways, so we can't ever say that, you know, there's no way to prove that if a child was exposed that this is directly related, but early intervention for all children, so these screenings for all children in our population is so vitally important, because the earlier you detect it and correct it, the better results they're going to have.
At Educare, small classes and extra low teacher-child ratios ensure every child gets the individual attention they deserve. Floor-to-ceiling windows send sunlight streaming into the classrooms that were designed to create space for our youngest children. The state-of-the-art building stands out like a beacon of hope in a city with fears about what the water crisis will mean for their children.
A lot of what we can do is give that message of hope that even if there may be delays, there are a lot of things that we can put in place to minimize the delays or even erase the delays.
So having that resource here, just knowing that I don't have to worry about how it's going to affect them later. If they were to be poisoned by the lead, it takes a lot of the stress off knowing that they will have early help, early intervention before anything too damaging could happen.
Educare has already helped Ariana ensure her boys have the support they need to have a great year, and allowed her and other parents to look beyond their immediate needs and to a bright future.
I don't think that this was meant to keep us down. I think we're resilient. We'll be fine, even if it takes time.
This is the first Educare facility in Michigan. It is run by the GISD, so although only 220 students attend, students throughout the Flint district have access to the same support and the same services. Enrollment is free for families who qualify based on income and were exposed to Flint water.
So interesting, and it appears to be working, and it appears to be giving all these families hope.
And that's what's so important, Terry, and they feel like they're being listened to and taken care of. So many things that a lot of people take for granted. A little boy who simply needed glasses, and the parents hadn't had the resources to get them to the appointment, to get the glasses, and his whole world lit up when he was able to have glasses.
And there's a chance that maybe there could be another Educare?
Well, this is the first in Michigan. They're hoping this is a model for other schools and for early childhood development, because it's so important. Those first 5 years of a child's life make a life-changing difference. And this helps to level the playing field for people who may start out, you know, with not the same chance as all children.
Exactly. Very interesting.